what dude in their right mind would want to be with a girl who's been with that many guys? Well, I'll tell you what, ladies, the last few days, boobies have been on everybody's mind. They have been all around the internet on places that they probably shouldn't have been, including Twitch, which we are live on right now, which Shakeshifter, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime sub. Really appreciate that. Okay, so this was put out a couple days ago where Twitch updated their sexual content policy. And the two key words that you need to know is artistic nudity, not autistic nudity.
It's called art.
Artistic nudity, which was very vague, extremely vague. And I actually I thought to myself, hey, maybe I should do an artistic nudity stream yesterday. And
but
Blabs
in your case,
actually
it would actually be autistic.
Well, no. Blabs.
I'm so in trouble.
No, but I thought about doing it, and Blabs talked me out of it because I don't want to get naked. I don't want to take any clothes off, but I would like to show off art over the course, and I would love to see art, from the Roman times, Greek times, whatever, and see how long I could do that stuff until somebody was like, you can't do that, right? But it got worse because there was a lot of people over the last couple of days who were really pushing the limits as to what art is. And that's the thing about art is it's extremely subjective when it comes to these things. But this is how they changed it. They said certain content now allowed with labels. Artistic nudity permitted under sexual themes label. Game nudity, contextual labels necessary. Body paint, acceptable with appropriate label. Mature games, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really, it doesn't even matter. The big thing is these right here, right? Mm-hmm. So what you saw yesterday was things like this. The floodgates opened, and you saw I want to play this without music, without audio first, then I want to play it afterwards because the audio is outstanding. So she's on, and I don't know if you can tell this, but she's actually playing a Mario game up here, right? Like what?
Wow!
Like, is anybody actually tuning in to watch her play Mario Sunshine? No, what they're tuning in is for this hammer, literally knocking on her knockers, back and forth as she collects shine stars and stuff. So.
The fact that a lot of people are watching that just shows how degenerate society is right now. This is pure insanity.
So right. You're 100% right. And I want to play this with audio because this girl is playing Mario Sunshine over here. And as you can see in the upper corners, it does say intended for certain audiences.
Intended for autistic audiences.
Yeah, but who can actually read that teeny tiny little thing, right?
For real.
I feel like you have to recreate that meme of that guy who's like, where
Here you
is
go.
it?
Yeah.
Look at this comment. You are sexy, girl. I like you, game.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He probably wrote that with only one hand because he was
He's going hard. Oh, go and watch this real quick. This because everything about this is ruined as soon as she opens her mouth.
I usually talk about bullshit on here.
I just think it's like so classy. So much class, just dripping from her.
Around here.
You should talk about that bullshit.
She a linebacker also?
So we had about 24 to 36 hours of this type of content. And I think pretty much immediately Twitch was like, probably shouldn't have done that. So much so that Melanie, I don't know if you know this, but this morning Twitch came out and they have said they are rolling back the artistic nudity changes.
That didn't take long.
Did not take long at all. Moving forward, depictions of real or fictional nudity won't be allowed on Twitch regardless of the medium. This restriction does not apply to mature-rated games. You can find emote-specific standards for nudity and sexual content in the emote guidelines. we aren't making other changes to the updated sexual content policy. So
Goodness. Well, yeah, because it was just as soon as they made that announcement, it was rampant. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, Twitch is going to be viewed as a porn site. Even VTubers, it's like they had the nude skin already made and good to go.
yes,
If they announced it, all of a sudden, this nude VTuber is making streams on there. It's just wow.
this is a spectacular response to that. I love this response. This is from Grums. I don't know who Grums is, but they are.
Oh, he used to do he's like a really big World of Warcraft creator. And then he made his own game. What was that called? I can't remember, but he did make his own game at one point as well.
Well, Grums came out and said, "I swear Twitch is run by an emotionally stunted 20-year-old deerkin," which is just absolutely brilliant stuff.
Oh
my gosh.
my goodness.
It's like,
I mean,
who could have thought? Go ahead. Yes, Melanie.
but this is part of the result of the, I know it's funny, but the deer stuff, the making up genders thing, all that sort of stuff. And I think it's easy to just try to be like, oh yeah, no big deal, whatever, let them do their thing. But the more that people as a society accept this kind of stuff, and oh, now we have a deer person, as a head of Twitch safe space, whatever. Yeah, then all of a sudden, once you start accepting degeneracy at large, then degeneracy just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So go back to shaming stuff. That's what I gotta say.
I wonder if we could have been a fly on the wall of the Twitch conversations where they're like, listen, people will be able to handle this. Well, it's going to be artistic nudity, right? Number one, surely there had to have been some pushback in that executive, like,
Right.
Someone's like, yeah, you know what? That's probably not a good idea, right? And then once it was opened up and the floodgates just went like, it was like tits, boobs, rub, bush, artistic, right? What was it? Who was like, hey, so do you think we should probably scale back on this? Or do you think the CEO was
Right.
like, yo, we fucked up,
For real, because it's ruining their entire brand. I mean, not that Twitch's brand is so perfect right now, but it's just immediately overnight, Twitch just started getting viewed as a porn site. And if they didn't put a stop to it, it only would have gotten worse from there.
Yeah. And it lasted a full, legit 24, maybe 36 hours tops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You could have had your breakthrough moment, Craig.
Well,
I'm
and
sorry
for
I
that,
shamed you into not doing it.
and I'm going to hold you. There's a lot of spite I hold towards you right now, Blabs.
Because I bully you?
You bullied me into not making my artistic nudity stream
I bullied
yesterday.
you into not showing off your tits.
And not mine,
Not mine either.
but others. Okay, here's a realistic question. Let's say those who went in and they used this tiny window of time and they were out there showing off their boobies artistically, right? Or autistically. Do their clips and videos sent from their channel now have to be removed because they now violate guidelines?
Good question. I would
Download
think
those
yes.
videos, guys.
Yeah, as Sarcastic Fox says, Craig was going to paint with his dong. That's right.
Anyway, so if you do like a Bob Ross style painting, you draw a naked woman, do you get in trouble?
I don't know. These are all, well, I'll tell you this. Yesterday there were all sorts of people drawing like naked women with fox heads and stuff. I saw one of those guys getting passed around.
Furries, huh?
Yeah. So that was being passed around a lot yesterday. And as Melanie said, there was literally like, it was amazing to me that the VTubers who were just like, well, all of a sudden I'm naked.
I'm like scrolling on Twitter and saw a VTuber bush on my timeline. I'm like, what is this? They're streaming on Twitch. Like,
yes, it's crazy.
Did not need to see that.
I don't even know what we're doing today in the world, but it feels like there was a sharp correction which needed to happen immediately. and that makes me happy. That does make me happy that's happened, which is good. So, um, I guess we'll kind of see what as said, Twitch gonna Twitch, and this is very Twitch, which is crazy. At a certain point, don't you have to like look at their leadership and be like, "What the fuck were you
I
thinking?"
know. I feel like Twitch was I think they even allowing that in the first place or making that sort of announcement in the first place, I think it was just out of desperation of, oh, they've already been struggling for a long time financially, and especially with Kick entering the arena and taking a lot of streamers with them. And so, these streamers were pulling in a lot of revenue for them. So I think that was an act of desperation, because it's like, oh, well, if they say artistic nudity, then that gives them, because there is no actual measure for what is considered artistic nudity. So that gives Twitch the discretion to say, oh, wait, oh, look, she's getting us a bunch of money right now. Let's file this under that. But it just backfired on them when apparently they just had a huge boom of it, and it would have completely ruined their entire brand had they not done something about it. So, yeah.
I feel like their brand has been damaged so much over the
Mhm.
last really like 2-3 years.
Yep.
Really like since 2020, they've really
Right.
made some horrible decisions.
Even with like payouts too, and when they moved
Yep.
from 70 to 30 and everything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And that's also a huge element of it, is just how they treat their streamers and the
You with the
partiality.
sponsors, remember?
Yeah. Yeah. And with the partiality they have with some of them, like, okay,
Mhm.
Pokimane can get away with anything. But if, a guy streamer does the same thing, then he's punished for it. Things like that. The revenue split 50-50 that is insanity. So rather than putting the focus on the creators and incentivizing the creators to want to actually stream on there and to actually see the money that their viewers are giving them. Instead, they're just doing stupid stuff like this, and something's got to give.
Well, something has given, and they've decided to
Boobies.
take a step back. Yeah, boobies are now out on Twitch
Yeah.
from an artistic perspective. But if you sluts want to keep showing them, go ahead.
Don't forget though, Kick has that 70% booby coverage.
Yep.
Like, I gotta be honest, man. I
There's a
just
lot of
always
boobs on the internet, huh?
I just always think of like these poor girls of their parents, right?
Mhm.
Like, what the hell, man? Like,
I
their
know.
parents got to be like, man, we really fucked up,
I know. It's sad. It's very sad. It's sad for the girls, and it's also very sad for the guys who are consuming this stuff and rotting their brains in it and keeping themselves from actually being able to have conversations with women in the real world. Just imagine these guys that are spending all this money on like OnlyFans girls or these titty streamers like that. It's like, imagine how their parents must feel as well. Like, oh my goodness, their son isn't interacting in the real world, isn't being a productive member of society and actually able to talk to women, actually able to find a wife. Instead, he's looking at titties on the internet.
I can't imagine being in the dating pool. We've talked about this countless times. I can't imagine being young and trying to date anybody today. The like people look at this as something to ease your way in to the dating scene. I see this as a tremendous roadblock.
Yeah.
Because when you meet somebody for the first time, getting to know their mannerisms, getting to know their getting to know how they speak, how they look at you,
Mhm.
eye to eye contact, all these things are so important. And really what all people are using their phones for is just a quick booty call. Really,
Right.
that's really
Yep.
what it is. They're looking for these
Yep.
transactional relationships where they
Mhm.
go in, get their dick wet, and then they get out, and that's the craziest thing about it. And you see these girls who are just, they call it a body count today.
Mhm.
It's where they have these hundreds and hundreds of dudes. Like,
Mhm.
what dude in their right mind would want to be with a girl who's been with that many guys? Like, ugh.
Right. I
Fun
think
fact, I used to
mean
think it was called the kill count.
the kill
There.
A lot of people who've been dead right now.
that kind of stuff is it's messing people up. It's preventing people from, men and women alike who are participating in this hookup culture and just have these astronomical body counts. They're preventing themselves from actually being able to bond with people, because they have spent so much time. Not to mention just like what that does to your brain, what that does to your emotions, and all that they're not even necessarily seeing psychologically. But just the fact that they treat dating as just this transactional thing, it's really messing people up and messing up people's ability to actually care about another human being.
I will say this. That's something that we talked about doing roundtables. I would love to do a Zoomer. No, yeah, Zoomer. That's what the generation now. A Zoomer dating roundtable, just so I can ask
Mhm.
questions of like, what is this like? It seems like it's just the worst thing in the world. You
Yeah.
know, it's the worst ever. Anyways, well now
Add it to the list.
excellent. Well,
All
thank you,
right.
Twitch. Thank you, Twitch, for doing that. I'm good. That
New
was the one good
category.
thing you've done. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.